All right, here we go again. You know, all this blaming black women. Too many brothers have been showing up trying to find ways to make black women accountable. Keep telling you guys you can't make a woman accountable when you are the leader. You see, when you fail at the top, everything trickles down. Apparently, you guys don't understand that. We'll talk about it. Gangster talk up right now. Dang. Well, in remembrance to Shag-Chi, the immortal Tupac, rest in peace, those two brothers, legends in R&B. Back then, that's when R&B was positive and actually had a meaning to it. That was before, way before it deteriorated into the demonic stuff you hear today. That was pure hip hop back then. That was skill. Brothers who wrote lyrics that wasn't destructive, that wasn't about self hatred, and wasn't about hurting other black people, which is good old clean lyrics about brothers meeting girls and wanting to mate with girls. It was about having fun with women and relationships. Good old fashioned stuff. Welcome to Gangsta Talk, everybody. What's going on? Shout out to strong people in the chat. My man Hassan Burton. Say it ain't so. Well, lately, man, we've been talking a lot about accountability. And if y'all been here in the last two podcasts, we've had some invasions of some sissy bimish manosphere guys wanting to try to find accountability with women. See, the problem too with all of this is that you're so busy trying to find fault with women that you're not addressing the fault with yourselves. You're not addressing the fact that you are a failure in your community. It's time to start wearing your failures and stop trying to push your failures off on black women. It's not going to work. That's never going to fly here. You're not going to come up here and convince me that it's black women's fault and black women should be accountable for this and that. That's not going to work here. You see, because we understand the truth of the matter is that the black man is the leader in the community, period. So when the corruption starts at the top and it trickles down to the bottom, we blame where the corruption came from. It came from the top. And that is where you're supposed to be, black man, at the top. Leadership. So don't sit up here talking about we have to blame black women for this, this, and that. And black women, don't get caught up in that nonsense. This is not your fault. I don't care if you're out there twerking. I don't care if you're out there wearing weave or makeup or you're jumping in some man's face or something like that. I don't care nothing about that. This is bigger than all of that. And they're trying to make you think that your little antics, whether you tell somebody off at a restaurant or if you wear weave or if you're out there twerking, it's all your fault. It's not. It is not your fault. This is the fault of black men. We have too many weak black men who don't want to take accountability for failing black people. That's what this is. I don't want to hear shit about, well, the black women got to take some accountability. No, no, no. You are the leader. It is your fault that the environment is corrupted. Corruption breeds bad behavior. So if the black woman is exhibiting bad behavior, it is because you've allowed the environment that she is supposed to nest in to become corrupted. Corruption breeds bad behavior. You have allowed the corruption. So therefore, you are at fault for the bad behavior that the corruption breeds. Yes, it's all your fault. Don't come in here on some pussy shit talking about, well, it ain't all black men fault. Yes, it is. It is all your fault because, again, you are the leader of black society. You are the leaders in the communities. And when your leadership is piss poor, when it fails, the environment suffers. and the people in the environment suffers. And you are responsible for the people in the environment in which you lead. Now, don't come up here and try to be on some dictatorship talking about, well, if I'm going to be the leader, then the black woman's going to do as I say. No, it don't work that way. You see, you lead and you lay down the laws. You make sure the environment is a salubrious environment. All right. You make sure the environment is a safe environment. Now, if you make the environment safe and the black woman is running around in the environment trying to make it unsafe, then you can say something. But if that isn't happening, then there's nothing you can say. Now, all of this do as you say. Why would she do as you say when you haven't shown her that you are a man that's strong enough to be responsible? Why would anybody listen to you? Why would you even listen to yourself? Some of you are so irresponsible, you shouldn't even listen to what you say. Seriously, you shouldn't even believe the shit that you're smoking, the shit that you're spewing. So, you guys are practicing hyperbole. There's a lot of exaggeration going on. There's a lot of stuff that you say that nobody should take seriously. You seem to think that it's the black woman's fault for tearing up the community. I don't see how when she's not the leader. You see, you being the men and the fathers in the community, you're causing more damage than anything. See, it's your actions alone that has destroyed the community because the women follow the men, the women follow the leaders. And so the leaders aren't leading. The leaders are laying down to other men. You've allowed your community to lay open for other men to come in and do whatever they want with your women and children. I mean, you are just as bad as the enemy. And so now you want to cower and run to other communities. You want to take your cowardice to other communities. I actually think that's a good idea. You guys should go to other communities because you will weaken their communities. I mean, God knows that we've had enough of you weakening ours. You should go to other communities. Let them get a whiff of how terrible your leadership is and how infectious your dereliction is. I really, I urge you guys to go to the, matter of fact, you guys can become a weapon for black people. Seriously, you guys are so fucked up. We can weaponize you against other communities. I think it's a good idea. I think you guys should go and infest other communities. It will make the other communities weaker. As long as you guys exist in those communities, right, they will become weaker. Now, I can't promise you that they won't retaliate, but hey, give it the old college try, right? Go take your dereliction, your irresponsibility into other communities. At least you'll be doing black people a service. This could be the way that you can help us by weakening other communities. And because you're out of our community, it'll give us time to regroup. While we can regroup in peace and don't have to worry about being attacked by the communities that you're in because you are attacking those communities with your dereliction and you're weakening those communities. So by all means, go to other communities. Do us a favor, help us out. This will, I would say, you can use this as a contribution to black people, right? I'm all for it. What's going on, Sadie? So, yeah, so I'm all for it. Now, you guys constantly come up and talk about, you try to find ways to say that black women should be held accountable. Now, one of the things that you've been talking about was the men that they choose. All right, well, let's talk about that. The men that they choose are the ones that you decided not to raise. You decided to not give any guidance to. You see, those men were once boys, boys with fathers. So when the father isn't in those boys' lives and don't give those boys any guidance, many of them don't grow up to be good men. Now, we talked about the environment, right? We talked about black women nesting in the environment. She shouldn't have to go out her environment in order to find a decent male for a mate. There should be plenty of decent men in her environment for her to choose from because she is relying on the leadership in that environment. And the leadership is supposed to be strong, upstanding black men of integrity, right? But here's the problem with all of that. And here's the problem with you wanting black women to choose better. You have to give them something to choose better from. You fail to do that too. You fail to raise your boys into decent young men so that they are good men that make good husbands and good fathers. The boys that you've allowed to be raised under your watch are unfit to be husbands, are unfit to be fathers, and they are mentally and emotionally weak. As a matter of fact, some of them are so weak that many of them believe that they're women. And they have the mentality of a female. And they become extremely jealous like women. And they want to scratch women's eyes out. They want to wear stockings and mascara. Some of them want to wear weave themselves. I believe some of them are wearing weaves and dresses. This is the kind of men that you've allowed to be raised under your watch. And so when you look at this crop of men that are pathetic, that are weak, effeminate, they're sellouts, they're cowards. This is what you've left the black woman to choose from. So you can't sit here and say, well, you should choose better. Can't do that. You don't have that kind of clout because you haven't raised good men. You see, the stuff that you guys are talking about, you have to have credibility to talk that shit you're talking. Y'all have no credibility. You have to have works to talk that shit you talking. None of y'all have any works. You don't have any works. You see, if you have raised a strong batch of black men, a generation of good, strong black men, then you would have some works. You would have some credibility. Sit up here and say, you should choose better. And the reason why you can say that is because you know that you raised good young men. You can go to the black woman talking about, well, what are you doing? I raised some fine young men out here for you to be with. Fine young men that I groomed to be good husbands and good fathers. Why aren't you with them? But you can't say that now, can you? You can't say that. You can't go to the black woman with that argument because that argument doesn't hold up. That argument has nothing behind it. You understand? Because you haven't raised good young men. You've allowed the boys, you've abandoned these boys and allowed them to, in many cases, raise themselves and be raised by the street. So therefore, you've handicapped the black woman when it comes down to choosing the mate in her environment that she's nesting in that you're supposed to be the leader of. So your argument has no weight. And at the very least, your argument is ridiculous when it comes down to you saying she should choose better. and she should stop mating with felons. Well, you should stop creating felons. If you didn't create them, there would be none in the community for her to choose from. That wouldn't be an option now, would it? And how are you creating felons? You're creating felons by abandoning your male children and allowing them to raise themselves and be raised by the corruption that's in the street. That's how you create felons. You create felons by being an absentee father. You create felons by being a deadbeat dad. What is a deadbeat dad? A dad that's halfway in his child's life and ain't good for shit. A deadbeat, a bum, there for no reason whatsoever. An absentee father, one that's completely out of this child's life and not giving a damn whether the child lives or dies. See, when you're one or the other or both, this leads to the creation of felons, Pookies and Ray Rays. Then you got the nerve to fancy yourself as an educated lame. Again, that's ridiculous too. You guys are crossed up. You're either an absentee dad, a deadbeat dad, a bum, or you're dull, uninspiring, boring, and feeble-minded. Isn't that what an educated lame is? But anyway, so your argument about she should choose better has no weight. You should create better. You should raise better. You have to understand, you have a huge responsibility in the community as a father. The father bears the biggest burden in the community. But he has no problem because his shoulders are strong enough to bear that burden. Well, they're supposed to be anyway. You see, back then, fathers wore pants, they wore dungarees, they wore jeans, they wore overalls because they were hard, strong, working men. They wore boots, they had tool belts, hard hats. What are the fathers wearing today? Chelsea boots, skinny jeans, pants with 40 or 50 zippers on them, walking around with your pants hanging down, with your ass showing, wearing makeup, lipstick, lip gloss, getting your hair dyed with 4 and 5 different colors in it. That's what you fathers are doing today. You aren't strong, you're weak. And so your boys reflect who you are. And you want the black woman to choose that? This is what you've left her. You've left her no choice but to choose the best from the very worst. Now I keep hearing about black men don't have 51% of black men don't have children and black men make the best fathers. I don't know about those statistics. All this about black men are the best fathers. I don't, that must have been 100, 200 years ago. And you guys aren't even competing. You won't get out here and compete. You guys are fighting to be at the top of the very bottom. So again, your argument about she should choose better, it has no weight. Now, another thing, I noticed a lot of you guys who came up here are very afraid of being men, right? You're afraid of being men because you're saying if you have to bear this responsibility, then the black woman has to do everything you say, like she's a slave. Well, wanting a woman for a slave is not the attribute of a man. That is an attribute of a coward. You want people to do your bidding because you are a man enough to do your own things. You want people to bend to your will and snap to your will. You want a slave rather than a beautiful, loving woman by your side. You guys live in a fantasy world. That's why y'all play video games and read comic books all the time. Even in the ages of 40 and 50 years old, still having comic book characters as heroes. Who the fuck has Spider-Man as a hero at the age of 50? Who the fuck has Superman as a fucking hero at the age of 45 plus? Where the hell they do that at? What kind of men are those? You got grown ass men in their 50s, 40s running around here with comic book heroes, wanting to be comic book hero. How the hell do you want to be Spider-Man and you're 50 years old? Talking about you want to be like the wall crawler, the web slinger. Seriously, this is what black women have to deal with. Grown ass men who are 35, 40 years old with kids wanting to be fictional comic book characters in real life and living their life like some of these comic book characters, quoting these comic book characters, even trying to fit the way the comic book character thinks into their everyday natural life. Going to Toys R Us and buying things like toy gauntlets and things that and Spider-Man suits. Walking around with an Incredible Hulk mask. And you wonder why black women are struggling with finding decent black men. The mentality of a lot of you men is so freaking immature. I said before, I really feel sorry for black women. You guys are the sorriest group of black men I have ever seen. You're so mentally weak, you're so mentally immature. I don't understand why y'all have children. Because many of you are children yourself, even at the age of, there's so many 45-year-old adolescents out here. It's sad. It's a tragedy. How many 40-year-old adolescents are walking around out here? You know what a 40-year-old adolescent is? A grown-ass man with a baby boy-like mentality. Are you fucking kidding me? And you really got the nerve to talk about she should choose better. Choose from what? Surely you can't be talking about yourselves. Running around here talking about you want to be the wall crawler, the web slinger. You want to be Thanos, Superman. And you're 40 plus years old. And you're serious about this shit. It's not like you joking about it or you know, it's just some conversation that you've had in passing with some of your boys. No, you motherfuckers are absolutely serious. I've heard you motherfuckers talk. I've been over there in the manosphere circles. I've heard you guys talk. I've heard you guys wanting to be like comic book superheroes for real. For real. Wasn't playing around. And you got the nerve to say the black woman should choose better. Choose for what the fuck are you giving her to choose from? If she's not choosing from you being a deadbeat dad and allowing a whole generation of boys to become derelict under your watch, if she isn't choosing from that, then she's got you to choose from. A 40-year-old, 45-year-old adolescent who thinks he's Spider-Man, who wants to live off of her and treat her like another mother and just want to have sex with her and go back to being a boy while she be's the adult and pays all of the bills, maintain a roof over your head, just like a boy. I mean, when she has a conversation about, well, I do everything for my kids. I make sure my kids got a place to stay. I make sure my kids got clothes. He may as well include you too. You're one of her kids too. And this is really say this is embarrassing for us as black men that the black woman, the percentage of black women when they get with black men, the percentage of those relationships that turn into a mother-son relationship is extremely high. And that shouldn't be. Other races of women, when they get with men, they get with men. Men who can handle up. Men who handle business. Men who can take care of them. The black woman gets with a man, this motherfucker, next thing you know, she's buying them Pampers, buying them school clothes, buying them socks, underwear, patting them on the head, giving them a fucking allowance, buying you video games to play with, like you fucking 12 years old. And you bring nothing to the relationship. You guys got the nerve to talk about what the black women bring to the table. You bring nothing to the table. You bring nothing to the table. As a matter of fact, you come to the table needy, like a child. Other races of women get with men who build the goddamn table from the ground up. Baby, what kind of table you want? He goes and builds the goddamn thing. Black woman can't ask you for nothing. You can't give her a damn thing. And the situation is so one-sided, it's a tragedy. Because she has to turn around and take care of your grown ass. And then got to deal with your whiny and crying ways. How the hell are you 35, 40, 50 years old and you're whining like a teenager? Whining like a teenager and have no shame in doing that in front of other people. This is embarrassing. And it's unbecoming of a grown-ass man. So when other races of women get with men, they get gifts, they get taken out to dinner, they get wine and dine, they get swooned, they get romance, they get taken around the world, they get treated like women. Black women get with black men most of the time. Maybe he takes her out to Hardee's or maybe that one restaurant. And that's it. After that's over with, she now has to turn into a mother. Because that's the way you're going to treat her. You're not going to treat her like a woman you should be in love with. You're not going to sweep her off her feet. You're not going to romance her. You're not going to take her places and show her things and help culture her. You're not going to show her things she's never seen before. You're not going to tell her that you love her. You're not going to treat her like you love her. What you're going to do is treat her like a mother. And you're going to behave like a little ass boy, putting more pressure on her, putting more mental and emotional pressure on her, putting her between a rock and a hard place because she believes in the love that she has for you. So she's trying so hard to be patient, hoping your overgrown ass going to snap out of it. You think she don't know that you're behaving like a big ass overgrown baby? She knows that. But you see, you have to understand something. We have the most loving women in the world. They love us enough that they give us ropes to hang ourselves, right? See, other races of women won't put up with you being an overgrown baby Huey for 1 minute. You pull that shit with a non-black woman, they're gonna roll your ass out the door or they gone because they're used to grown ass men. They ain't into the baby Huey shit. So when your overgrown ass is with a black woman, she loves you enough to at least give you some time, hoping that you're gonna look your ass in the mirror and realize that you're a grown fucking man and you should start behaving like one. So she tries to give you that kind of time, hoping you're gonna snap out of it, which is a mistake. It's a mistake that she doesn't realize that she's making because she's so loving. You guys don't understand. You're so damn stupid. You got the most beautiful, caring, affectionate, and loving women in the world, and you treat them like shit. You don't realize how blessed you are. You punk motherfuckers, you don't know what to do. You have the most beautiful, the most loving, the most affectionate, understanding, and caring women in the entire world. There isn't a woman that's more loving than a black woman or caring or understanding. And the matter of fact, it's even worse because the black woman understands our struggle. Non-black women don't understand your struggle. They haven't gone through slavery with you. The black woman has a an entitlement to your soul, bro. She was there during those brutal times of slavery. She took those beatings with you. She lost her life trying to protect you, protect your bloodline. A lot of our fathers and grandfathers wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the sacrifices that black women made during slavery. She took those beatings with us, with you. She suffered with you. No one understands us better than her. No one understands what we've gone through other than her. No one knows us better than her. Why do you think she puts up with a lot of shit that we do? You think she don't know that many of our mentalities are fucked up? You think that she don't know that slavery did a number on a lot of our ancestors and some of the goddamn shit came down the fucking bloodline? You think she don't know that? Why do you think she's so patient with us and puts up with a lot of our bullshit? Because she understands that we're the only men that have been through what we've been through. But understand something. Just because she's patient doesn't mean that we're supposed to sit up here and be complacent and act like fucking victims and act like we're helpless and we can never ever do nothing as men. See, that's what we shouldn't be doing. And that's what you are doing. That's the problem. That's what's so problematic. That's why you got women like Cynthia G railing on you motherfuckers like no tomorrow. Because you're laying down and you're staying down. And you're doing it by choice. You are a willful coward. A willful coward. And you don't deserve the respect of a man. The shit I've heard that came on these panels, you don't deserve no respect. In my circles, you would never be respected as a man. You haven't done anything to earn any respect. Many of you don't even have true male egos. You don't even know what it's like to be a real male. All of y'all talk like sissies and punks. You don't talk like men. You don't have that fearlessness in you, in your voice. You don't have that command in your voice. Meaning you talk soft as shit. You sound like pussies when you open your mouth. It's no wonder many of you so goddamn effeminate and walking around here with your ass out. My bad. Sorry about that. I got distracted for a second. Dame,
Yes.
hold me down for 2 minutes. I got to reboot. I'm
Okay.
frozen. All
All
right, I'll be
right.
right back.
Okay. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So, what I was trying to tell you, Polo Sport, and what Max is trying to say is that um, the women today don't have much choice to choose from. As I was saying, she's looking for a man who's going to take the load off or share the load. But what she's finding is that she's finding a man that's adding to her load. So when you say giving rope, it's like giving time to find out is he's gonna ease the burden off. Give him time to take some of the off, take some of the weight off. And she's waiting and she's trying to hold the load as much as she can, plus his weight on top of that. And then after a while, she can't take it anymore. He got to go, because she's about to break. Because she can't handle her weight and his weight. And unfortunately, we keep running into men like that over and over and over again. Or we see a little inkling that they might be who we think they are, or that they projecting that they are, and then we get into them or get involved with them and find out they're not. And when she's talking and saying, "Okay, babe, what's going on here?" He he shames her into accepting him by, "Why are you not holding me down? You're supposed to be my woman. You don't love me, bull," and stuff like that. Instead of, "Okay, baby, okay, I understand it's hard. I'm gonna do as much as I can while I'm doing this." The men who do that, women will change all kinds of. They will change attitudes. They'll be more understanding. They see that you're trying, but no. The women that what we getting is the men that's like, why are you not holding me down? Why
Okay, I'm back.
me? Don't you love me? If you really love me, you would do this and that. I'm sorry, Max. I just wanted to finish what I was ranting about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that's a
all right, you,
weight. That's a weight put on the woman. Okay, she's
right,
trying to
right. I don't want
tell
to interrupt, but let me.
you. Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt, but just hold that thought. Let me get back to my thing here.
Okay.
Okay, I saw something in the chat. Okay, Paulo, let me address something you said. Okay, who said that black women are looking for men with no weaknesses? You see what I'm talking about? The excuse, make these are excuses. See, when you talk like that, that's nothing but an excuse. That's also tied to fear, unnecessary fear. No one said anything about black women are looking for men with no weaknesses. What man is that? What man exists out here with no weaknesses? That's not even realistic. So basically, what you're saying is that black women are unrealistic. It's unrealistic for you to say something like that and don't even realize that you're saying it out of fear because you fear being a man. You see, cowards talk like that. See, strong men don't think that way. It's ridiculous to believe that black women are looking for men with no weaknesses. They're looking for men with as little weaknesses as possible. There's no one walking around here without a weakness. Another thing that you guys are harping on, you seem to have gotten a hold of a $25 word that you guys are really, really building, really building a goddamn hostile enclave around. The hypergamous word, right? The H word. Black women are practicing hypergamy. So what? So what? It's natural for the woman to seek the strongest male. Animals practice hypergamy too. I don't see y'all talking about them, especially lions, female lions. Oh, they're the most hypergamous of felines in the jungle. They want the strongest lion that they can find. They want the best lion of the bunch. They're dating up all the time. They're going after the alpha alpha. I don't hear y'all sitting up here talking about female lions. How come you don't have a problem with them? They're hypergamous. Female, apes are the same way. They want the strongest ape, the strongest gorilla, whatever they can find. Almost all female animals want the strongest and the best male. Females, whether they be human or animal, are naturally hypergamous. They're supposed to be. Nobody wants a weak bloodline. Everything on earth that lives is supposed to be strong. There isn't supposed to be any weakness on earth. Because weakness leads to a lot of bad things like deterioration, pollution, corruption. So everything that's alive wants to be the strongest. Everything should be the strongest to defend against these things that are debilitating. A woman wants the strongest male. She wants the strongest children. She don't want her children to come into this tough world weak with issues. Hypergamous. Dame.
Yes.
Do me a favor. Read us the definition of the hypergamous.
Okay.
We're going to talk about this hypergamy and why this is natural for a woman. This isn't anything that we should be discussing as men. We shouldn't even be bothered by this as men. Men are hypergamous too. We're looking for yeah.
Okay. The action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of superior sociological or educational background.
There we go. Animals do the same thing. It all depends on how you look at social and education, right?
Mm-hmm.
When female lions are either marrying or mating with the strongest lion, he's also the smartest.
Mm-hmm.
He's also the biggest strategist. He's not only the strongest lion, he is the smartest. Now I don't know animal language, but I'm almost positive that he can carry a conversation with the female lions too. So we are all hypergamous. Men are hypergamous too. We want the most beautiful female. We want to marry the best female. We want to marry the most beautiful female that we can fall in love with.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with women being hypergamous. That's not a badge of shame. That's natural. She wants to be with a superior male. She is a woman. She wants the best. You see, women don't think like men. Women think for the long haul. They think about having children, right? So when they're choosing to mate, they got their unborn children in mind. Men don't think that way. We just think about whoever we can lay down and slay or get in the sack. We don't give a damn about nothing else. All we care about is feeling good. We don't think smart like women do when it comes down to family. Women are very smart about who they choose. They're thinking about their children. So they want the best male. They want the smartest male. They want the strongest male. They want the male with the most stats, with the most resources, because they want the best for their unborn children and for themselves. Women don't want to live in struggle and in poverty. Who wants that? Why should you want to live in poverty? Nobody should want to willfully struggle. I'm not saying that there are people out there that don't struggle, and I'm not saying that there are people out there that's not in poverty. But I don't believe that if they had an opportunity to get out of it, that they wouldn't. But hey, you know what? Forget about all that money. Let me stay down here and struggle. Let me stay down here without a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. I like it that way. I like having nothing. I like struggling. I like going to the blood bank and giving blood and taking that money and going down to Walmart and try to catch some canned goods on sale. Nobody wants to struggle. So you blame the woman for wanting the best for herself and for her offspring. You try to use that as something against her. Again, this is the mentality of a coward. Real men don't think this way. Real men understand that women are naturally going for the best male in all categories, as many categories as she can get. Some even settle for some categories that you're not good in because you have enough categories that'll get you past the test.
Yeah.
Some women are with men who aren't really that educated, but they are blowing up the world in other categories though. He's straight off the charts when it comes
Mm-hmm.
down to resources. He's off the chart when it comes down to providing. He's off the chart when it comes down to being a father and a husband. He may
Yeah.
not be the most educated, but he's fucking off the charts in other areas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shit, most women will teach you how to fucking read.
Mm-hmm.
If you off the charts in other areas, shit, a lot of them will take that as a damn project. Every now and then, they'll teach you some shit. They'll help you with some shit. They'll help you, learn how to write or whatever. Because you're killing it everywhere else. I've seen that too. I know a couple men who got married. When they got married, dude couldn't read. He couldn't read, but he was one of the best goddamn mechanics in Jersey City at the time. He was sought after, and he made a lot of fucking money. Well, now he has his own goddamn shop. He has two of them, and dude is like a scholar. He read all the time. You know why? Because the woman he got with was an educator. He was hitting on all cylinders and other. He was a great guy. He was a good father. He could earn his motherfucking ass off. He was a great provider and a protector. And so she added the last step. She educated him in private. Now dude's a fucking scholar, owned three goddamn shops, and about to write a book. hypergamous. So what? What's your point? And
And the mess,
again, huh?
and the messed up part, they trying to dictate how we should be hypergamous. We have different things that we consider important, and it may not be all the time just money. It might be that he's faithful, he's a good father, like you had said.
I
It
don't,
could
I
be.
don't, I don't even. Yeah, but I don't even know why women are wasting their time having these kinds of arguments. But first of all, men shouldn't be arguing with women about what they deem as hypergamous because women and men think differently, and real men know this. Like a real man would never argue with a woman about being hypergamous. Only you sissies would do something like that. So you got to be a real sissy and a real weak, girly type man to be arguing with a woman about being hypergamous. Ain't no real strong mandingo, ain't no real strong warrior, man of integrity that's going to be wasting his time arguing with a woman about being hypergamous. We're not going to do that. We got bigger fish to fry. We got things we got to do. We got mountains we got to move. We got asses we got to kick. We got names we got to take because we're men. We're strong men. We got to make a way for our women and children. We got bigger fish to fry. I'm not going to sit up here and argue with a woman about being a hypergamous. I'm not gay. I'm not a sissy. That's sissy shit. You a manly man. You don't sit up here and pick an argument with a woman about being hypergamous. That's girly shit. That's a female conversation on both sides. That's something women talk about amongst each other. That's not something she should be arguing with men about. Mind your goddamn business. Be a man. Get into your man business and stay the fuck out of women's business. You're not a woman. Stay the hell out of their damn business and their conversations. You got work to do. Your punk ass should be out here with a tool belt building something. You should be out here straightening out one of these ragged ass boys that you allow that you are allowing to be raised by the street. You need to be out here after these young ass boys with their goddamn pants hanging down with their asses out. You need to be on this street getting in these young boys' faces and turning them around, sitting up here being some gay dude arguing with women about being hypergamous. Seriously, if I was to go back to my dogs right now and say, hey man, you know these dudes are arguing with women about being hypergamous, the first thing they'll say to me, what are they, gay? Seriously, that's the first thing they're gonna say. Hypergamous, what are they, gay dudes?
Exactly.
Because that's not something a man would be arguing with a woman about. That's a woman's conversation. That's a conversation that women have amongst themselves. Stay the fuck out of their business. You're not a woman. Stay your punk ass out of their conversations. Arguing with women about being hypergamous. I see a bunch of men cackling. When I was watching a podcast a couple of weeks ago with a bunch of women on it. This is when your boy Derek Jackson went down in a hell of fucking flames, smoking all the way down, straight on fire. And these niggas got on these panels. See, I told you. And this brother was this, and that, and this, and that, this, and that. And you know what? I heard the jealousy in y'all voices because every last one of y'all kept talking about the way this man looked. 6'5", 240, muscular. I mean, y'all was describing this motherfucker like he was your boyfriend. Seriously. This is what you women wanted, right? The 6'4", dark skinned, handsome dude, good looking dude with the muscles and this is now. Like, God damn, you guys just what? You guys mad that he's not your boyfriend? You guys sound like jealous women. You sound like you wanted him for a boyfriend. That's what many of you sound like. And then you sound like honorary women too, sitting up there cackling and gossiping with women. Like you couldn't wait to get into the group of women and start gossiping and shit. I didn't see no real man waste 2 fucking seconds on Derek Jackson. If they did something, they said something like, the nigga fucked up. And they kept it moving. What no real man are you talking about? You see, ladies, this is what you've been after. The 6'5", the dark skinned dude with the smooth lips and all this other shit. What no real man? How you sissy niggas was talking like that? And really going at it with the women too. Gossiping with the women, cackling with the women. Yeah. Up here cackling with him. Describing the man's looks and shit. Talking about how muscular he was. Talking about how smooth his lips looked. Talking about how he had no blemishes in his skin. These were men talking like this. You would think that women would say some shit like that, but the women were more reserved. As a matter of fact, the women weren't even talking about his looks. The women were more interested in how he treated his wife. It was the dudes that was on that. He's 6'5", smooth lips, smooth looking skin, handsome brother, tall, dark and handsome. You niggas was talking like that. The women wasn't even talking like that. They were like I said, the women were on some, man, I can't believe he treated this woman like that. They was more interested in how she looked. They cared about her well-being. Was she was in her right state of mind? No, they was talking about you niggas was on that. Oh, he's 6'5", he dark skin, smooth lips, tight ass. I'm like, damn.
Wait. Did they actually say tight ass?
Yes, they did. Several of them said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, Max, but I couldn't believe that. Oh my goodness, they outed
And what
themselves.
killed me was the women. And what killed me was right. You would think that the women would say some shit like that. The women wasn't even talking like that. The women were more concerned with the state of mind his wife were in. His wife was in. You know, they wasn't even paying him no mind as far as his looks and nothing. It was the men that was all into that. You know why? Because you dudes are insecure. You guys are insecure. You're talking about another man's looks to a woman. You don't realize how insecure that makes you look, how weak that makes you look. Ain't no real man gonna sit up here and talk to no woman about another man's looks. That's you insecure sissy dudes. You insecure. You weak. Effeminate. And so let's go back. We started this rant by saying that you cannot hold black women responsible for your failures. The failure comes from the top and trickles down to the bottom. Once it gets down to the bottom, you cannot blame what goes on at the bottom for what started at the top. It's your mess. It's your bed to lie in alone. Black women aren't responsible for your mess. And yes, you are responsible and you're to blame for them choosing bad men too. Because you're not raising enough good men for them to choose from. Understand that the women nest in the environment. You are the leaders of the environment. So if you're not raising good men, then there are no good men for them to choose from in the environment. And so you put them in a situation where they have to choose the best from the worst. That's your fault. That's your fault. You can't you can't wait for her to go out to the store to get groceries. And while she's out at the store getting groceries, you change the lock. And when she comes back, her key don't work. And then you're inside looking at her from the inside, blaming her for not being able to get in because you changed the locks. That's what y'all doing. The black woman has went out for groceries and you changed the locks on the doors and blaming her for not being able to get back in the house after you changed the locks and didn't give her a key. That's what you're doing. You're the reason why she can't get back in the house. But you're blaming her for not being able to get back in the house because you changed the locks and didn't give her a key. You kept the key to yourself, changed the locks without her knowing about it. Now she's knocking on the door. She can't get back in. And you're saying it's her fault. You're telling her she should have chose another house to where her key worked. Go on down the block and try your key on other doors and see if it fits. That's what you're telling her. After you changed the locks without her knowing about it, after you did some cowardly thing like change the locks while she was out getting groceries. What else have we talked about? So, if she is choosing bad men, that is your fault. Because you left her no choice but to choose the best of the bad men from the worst of the bad men. And those bad men exist in the environment simply because you don't want to raise your boys. That is another failure of yours. What else did we talk about? Hypergamous, your new $25 word, right? You guys running high with this shit. Women are practicing hypergamy. We're going to talk about you guys practicing hyperbole later on Ladies' Night tonight. Yeah, we're going to be discussing how black men are practicing hyperbole. We'll talk about that on Ladies' Night tonight. You guys are practicing hyperbole. No one's talking about that. Well, we're going to talk about it tonight on Ladies' Night. And so we talked about this hypergamous bicycle you guys are on. So freaking what? Who cares if she's hypergamous? And why are we having a discussion about women? Why are real men, supposedly real men, talking about and arguing with women about being hypergamous? That's a sissy boy argument. A real man has no business arguing with a woman about being hypergamous. What? You want to wear her panties too? You want to wear her bra? You want to argue with her about wearing her bra too? You want to argue with her about wearing her stockings, her pantyhose, and her panties? Because that's what your man is supposed to be doing. Getting into an argument with her about wearing her own apparel. So what, you're going to get mad when she goes to the makeup store and buy up all of the makeup? You're going to be mad when she walks out of a makeup store and you go in and you can't find no makeup for you? You're going to be fighting her about wearing high heels? You may as well. I've said to you guys before, right? Why don't you stop playing around and start coming on these podcasts as your real self? Just go on and start wearing dresses. Nobody is going to be shocked. If I see a panel of you guys wearing dresses, they got flowers in your hair and stuff like that, I wouldn't pay it no mind. If it would be, I wouldn't even bat an eyelash. Seriously, I wouldn't be shocked. Other people may be shocked. I wouldn't. Y'all might as well go on and put on a dress. Go on and do it. What are you waiting for? I don't believe too many people are going to be shocked. I think a lot of people would expect it. If you guys did one of these panels where y'all jumping on a woman, like 8 of y'all, and all y'all come up there, y'all wearing dresses and shit, and eyeshadow, and dang, what's that stuff that goes on the cheek?
Rouge.
Yeah, y'all wearing rouge, eyeshadow, and you got your dresses on. I don't believe anybody would be shocked at all. So you may as well go on and do it. Because all of this arguing with women about being hypergamous and all of that, that's a bunch of sissy shit. Ain't no real man, no manly man is arguing with a woman about being hypergamous. A manly man don't give a fuck about whether a woman is being hypergamous or not. We understand that she wants the best man, but we get all that. That's why we compete. We understand what's going on. The hell we need to argue with her about it for? That's the way it is, brother. So with that being said, I'm at the end of my rant. Let me bring in the ladies of the E Nation, Dame and Abby. Come on in here.
All right.
Very nice.
What's going on? Oh, Asada Muhammad. Hey, long time no see. Wow, Asada showed up?
Yeah.
Hey, Asada. Wow, long time no see, my friend. Yeah, Bro Rob. Shout out to Bro Rob. Exactly, man. You can't tell another dude's hands. What the fuck are the hell these niggas talking about, man? They don't argue with women about being fucking hyper. Some old sissy shit. Okay, Dane and Abby. So, Dane, you've heard. Let's start with you first. Chime in on what you've heard and give me your take on some things.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, yeah. They not only okay. I agree with Hassan. Until I came to YouTube, I had never heard that word hypergamy,
Mm.
and finding out what it is, and then they use it as a battering ram to beat women over the head for her wanting the best and stuff like that, and then they want to dictate what her idea of the best should be, and they want to put it in a little narrow box, and then they keep changing the menu of it, uh, and stuff like that, and make her supersede her instincts, what she feels is most important. They want to dictate to it. Oh, it should be money. He should be high value man. He should be a money making this certain amount. Yes, it's good. It'd be good to have a man that makes money, but he don't have to have a lot of money. He got to be willing to work, willing to share, willing to build things together with the woman he loves. He willing to be faithful and not constantly looking around. All that talk about, she's gonna be competing with other women. Why should she? He loves her. He chose her. He married her, or he chose to be with her. She shouldn't have to compete. She should be using that energy to work to grow the family together, work to build together. But no, you got it in her head that now she got to constantly worry about his eyes roaming for another woman. When
Yeah, but
I'm
yeah, but
sorry,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's the issue with the high value man, right?
hmm
Because with the high value man, a woman can never relax.
hmm
You see, they want you to be in a constant state of competitiveness. So no matter how old you get, you still have to compete with younger women. Basically, they want you to kiss their ass,
hmm
right?
right,
Because they make the money. So you at best have to compete with women half your age all of the time. So according to that punk Kevin Samuels, You have to compete. Regardless of the fact, you're going to always have to compete with. You can never nest. See, they want to take away your natural ability to nest in the environment. These guys don't want you nesting in the environment. They want you to be a constant um, um, piece of ass or a piece of vagina for their overindulgence and sexual deviancy. These men aren't about family. These men are anti-family. They're anti-children. They're anti-love. They're anti-relationships. They only want you with them for as long as your beauty and your youth, right, is available to them. Once you start getting older, then to keep these men, you have to compete with younger women. So you constantly have to augment yourself, adorn yourself to keep up with these younger women. You'll never be able to let your hair down. You'll never be able to relax. You'll never be able to grow old with the man you love because he don't love you like that. He's anti-love. He's anti-relationship. He's anti-family. He's anti-children. That's the kind of high value man that they want you to be with, that they're trying to sell. That's the kind of high value man that punk Kevin Samuels is trying to sell you.
Yeah. And until you pointed out, I hadn't realized you're right. Only women talk with other women about hypergamy. They
Yeah,
argue this
I didn't.
this man is good because of this, and this.
Trust me, I grew up with five sisters. It ain't the first time I heard the word hypergamy. Okay? It's not a new word.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, well, it may be new to some of these guys because they always want to try to flex their so called intellectual might. But anyway, I grew up with five sisters. I've been around a lot of women in my life. I also got five brothers. So I've heard this conversation amongst women a lot, especially in the military. Okay. White women talk about being hypergamous too. I've been around conversations with them talking about it. This is a woman's conversation. A man has no business in this conversation. That's why I said, stay the fuck out of women's business. Stay the fuck out of their conversations. Mind your goddamn business. A hypergamous conversation isn't a conversation for a manly man to be having with a woman. That's a woman's conversation. Good.
Yeah. And then they constantly putting women in the men's position. And then they get on her how is she not able to answer the question when that's always been the men's position. That's never been the woman's position. You know
Look,
that
let me
question we hate to, but they love to ask.
let me tell you something, right?
Hmm.
None of this shit that these guys are doing is manly. Men don't behave this way and they don't talk like this and they don't challenge women in these ways. That's just something that real men do not do. Real men do not challenge women on the fact that they're women. These guys are challenging you on the fact that you're a female and you do naturally what females do. They're trying to challenge you on that. They're telling you that you don't have the right to be a female. They're telling you that who the hell do you think you are trying to be a female? No one said that you can be a female. You need permission to be a female. You need our approval to be a female. You can't be a female naturally. We got something to say about that. So if you want to do a female thing, like go and get your hair and your nails done, they got a problem with that. You need to confer with them to be a natural female. I don't understand why y'all even putting up with this kind of nonsense. These aren't real men. Real men do not talk like this. They don't challenge women in these ways. They don't get into these arguments with you about this bullshit, and they don't behave this way. These guys are effeminate. Most of them are gay. They sissy boys. That's who you are having a fight with. You think that you're having fights with black men. You're not. Most of these guys are gay and bisexual.
And on the down low.
They're gay, bisexual on the down low, and they have stronger, many of them have stronger feminine emotions than many of you. That's who you're arguing and fighting with. You think you're arguing and fighting with real men. You're not. There's no real black man out here who's arguing and fighting with you. All of these dudes, right, have suspect sexuality. They're either gay, extremely effeminate, bisexual on the down low, or extremely girly type men. That's who you're fighting with. You're not fighting with no real hard men who are out here kicking ass, taking names, men who are working, strong men. You're not having no argument with them. They're not arguing with you. You're arguing with these gay dudes. There's no real manly man gonna sit up here and have a podcast and tell women that you are 5 or you are 6 and you don't deserve this kind of man. You don't deserve that kind of man. There ain't no real man gonna do no shit like that. That's these gay dudes because they hate women. They despise women. Why do you think they're attacking you? They're jealous of you. They despise you. They don't like you. They hate you. They're jealous of the fact that you got it like that. You are a female, and a man is going to pursue you whether he got a lot of money or not. They can't stand the fact that a rich man will pursue a woman who works as a waitress. They hate that because they don't understand how love works. They don't give a damn about love. They don't understand how it works. You can get a man out here who's a goddamn millionaire and he's chasing a woman around who's a damn waitress because he's in love with her. He don't give a damn about how much money she makes. All he knows is that he loved this woman and he's pursuing this woman because he loves this woman. He wants this woman to be his wife. He don't give a damn about how much money she's making. And they hate that. They hate that a woman can get that. They hate that a woman can break down barriers. They hate that barriers crumble when women are present. When women walk into the room, barriers automatically come down. A woman's presence automatically knocks down barriers. You can have a whole bunch of men in the room talking crazy, right? And you can see, I guarantee you get a bunch of men in the room talking crazy. Oh man, women ain't shit. Women ain't nothing. Let a beautiful woman come walk in the room and watch how all that shit come tumbling down. All that shit come tumbling down. Them niggas will stop talking. They all go silent. A woman's presence breaks down barriers, and they can't stand that. And guys turn when women come in. A nigga will turn on you for a woman. I don't care how much you sit there and tell me, yo, that's my dude, that's my nigga. Yo, you used to be in my left titty and shit. You understand what I'm saying? That nigga, yo, man, used to be my homie. You was in my left titty. Thought you said you would ride for me. Man, a fine woman come walk in the room, fuck all that left titty shit.
Going after the real titties.
That shit, yeah, I'm going after the real titties, nigga. Fuck you talking about? I'm gonna be in her left titty. Fuck you. And they hate that. A woman will make a man turn on a nigga. They got power. Y'all can't stand the fact that the vagina is queen, and the vagina creates kings. And y'all hate that. And a king will kill another king for a queen.
Shook's history shows that.
Y'all don't like that. Okay, you sissies. Y'all hate the fact that women have that kind of natural power over men. And they're going to continue to have that kind of power over men and have that kind of clout and power with men. Man, niggas will go to war for women. Y'all don't get it. Y'all got the game fucked up. Okay? I bet you motherfuckers, your manosphere, I bet you motherfuckers won't meet in groups out in the real world where there's a bunch of pretty women at. I bet you y'all won't do that. You know why? Because the women are coming in and bust that shit up. I don't care how many. You can have 5,000 of you motherfuckers outside in a fucking group. Let some women come roll up in that group. They're going to bust that shit up. Y'all going to start turning on each other. You're going to start separating yourselves from each other. Why? Because women are present. Get it, Dave.
Yeah, we're seeing tough talking dudes that can't see nothing good about black women turn into fumbling, bumbling little boys who don't know what to say when the beautiful woman step up to them. Yeah, but yeah. So when they start arguing with us, that's why we have the urge to argue back. They're not men anymore. Men don't argue with us. They say what they're gonna say and they move keep it moving. Or it's not worth arguing with us about. Or it has nothing to do with them. But once they
And you
start
know,
arguing with us, they don't become men anymore.
and
They
y'all,
become
and the thing about it is, a lot of you guys with the manosphere, you guys are just socially awkward, and and you're not used to a woman's warmth. I'm telling you right now, you can be with your boys. I guarantee you, y'all won't meet nowhere in public. Y'all gonna keep that shit behind closed doors because that's where you're safe at. 'Cause I'm telling you right now, y'all ever meet in public and there's some women around, you better not let women up in your group. You better put a goddamn barricade up. Because if women start walking in the middle of that group with all of the men, you got some beautiful women walking in there, they're gonna fuck that shit up. Y'all gonna start turning on each other. Niggas gonna start bowing out. You're gonna be like, look, man, I'm out. I'm out. What are you talking about, man? You supposed to be mad. Yeah, but you see, Shorty over here giving me some looks, man. I want to go talk to her. Niggas gonna start turning. They're gonna start turning. I'm telling you that right now. They will turn. And the only ones that'll be left will be nothing but gay dudes. The only ones that'll be left. Everybody else will be out of there. And you started with 5,000, you'll probably be left with 5.
Shooks. The women hadn't even stepped in. It happened. It's happening on some of their channels right now. They going at each other over some woman. They don't even know if she's real.
Keep trying to tell you, man, the power of the vagina is fucking overwhelming. You know why it's so powerful? Because it brings life into the world. You don't get no more powerful than that. I'm telling you right now, you can't defeat the vagina. It's undefeatable. You can't beat it because you come from it. Ain't no beating it. And you can sit up here and play games with your mind and try to psych yourself out thinking you're competing with women. But in reality, there is no competing. But you can't compete with no woman in reality. Are you crazy? Ain't no competing with no women. I'm telling you right now. Why do you think, like, in these gay marches or whatever, they don't want heterosexual women involved? They only want the gay women because heterosexual women have a tendency to turn men.
Even
Let me
gay
explain
men.
something to you guys. Men are actually the weaker sex. We're actually the weaker sex.
Mm-hmm.
See, y'all think in terms of strength as being brawny and stuff like that. Yeah, we got all of that, right? But there's a lot more to strength than just being able to pick up something heavy. It's way more complicated than that. You understand what I'm saying? I guarantee you right now, there's no way that men can outlast women when it comes down to the sexual thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. You are going to give in way before women will. I promise you that.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't a man out here can outlast a woman as far as when it comes down to sex. And if you say that you can outlast a woman, you full of shit. Ain't no man out here that can outlast a woman. A man is going to give in sexually to a woman all the fucking time. Now you may have some brothers that have some self-control, may be cool about it and shit. You understand what I'm saying? They may wait till you get behind closed doors, but once he behind closed doors, it's a wrap. He may be a gentleman behind it. He may be a gentleman about it, and wait till he get behind closed doors. But once them doors close, it's a fucking wrap. You ain't outlasting no woman. You ain't competing with no woman. You ain't beating no woman in none of these categories. You got it fucked up. You niggas are crazy for thinking so. Go ahead, Dane.
Yeah. Shooks, they show how weak they are is that in order to keep their distance from women, they got to get sex dolls. They got to get it somewhere.
And that's stupid. What the fuck you want a sex doll for? What the fuck wrong with y'all, man? Sex dolls?
Mm-hmm. They want to
Seriously?
they want to prove that women don't have the powers of sex over them. So
But
they're gonna turn to a sex doll. But hey,
yeah,
the
yeah,
sex
I've
doll look like
seen
a
some of these.
woman.
Yeah, I've seen some of these dudes with sex dolls. Damn, don't they have black sex dolls? Can y'all get black sex? I mean, y'all swirling with sex dolls. What's with all of these white sex dolls? Y'all can't get no black ones?
The white sex dolls are easy, like they're human counterparts, and there's more of them.
I'm saying though, they got black sex doll. At least get the black sex doll too, dog. Don't get no. I mean, you niggas are swirling with sex dolls and blow up dolls.
They cheapskate. They don't want to pay the extra money for a black one when they can get a white one for free or for cheap.
Motherfuckers swirling with sex dolls. Swirling they motherfucker got white sex dolls everywhere.
Cause they cheapskates. I'm telling you,
And
that's
then
what
when she
it
blow, and
is.
then when she blows a goddamn leak, instead of going out and get you a brand new black one, you gonna go buy a goddamn patch and patch this white one up. And
Yeah.
now she gets weaker because even when you patched her up now, she weaker. Now she all wrinkled and shit.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Bitch got patches on her. I mean, go and get you a brand new black one, dog. Why you had to go get me with this old wrinkled up white one for? You done
Well,
tore her ass up.
once the black sex doll saw him with the white one, she ain't having nothing to do with him.
Yeah,
So she go and hide every time he comes into the store.
yeah. I mean, it's bad when the black sex dolls don't want to be brought by none of you motherfuckers and shit. You know?
Oh, for real? Yeah, you gotta hunt high and low for a black sex doll.
I'm
They
just saying, you niggas are swirling with sex dolls. Seriously? I mean, goddamn, like, you can't get no black fucking. Come on, man. But, yeah, hypergamous. Fuck
yeah.
out of here. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Where's Abby?
Uh, Oh, she's right there.
Abby.
Ebony.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah,
So Ebony, what you think about black men trying to make uh black women ashamed of being hypergamous? I mean, wanting the best man.
I don't understand why they even are thinking that way. That even black women are looking for the good man. Yeah, as we being black women, we need to look for the good man. We can't be with any other men who cannot be supporting us, who cannot be protecting the women as well with our children. So we are not looking for the men who only have money, but we are looking for men who can protect us, who can provide, who can help even all the children and the family. So that's why every woman likes to be with a good man, not just any man.
You know, it's interesting that you said that, right? When they talk about these high value males, can these high value males do that? Do they ever say that these high value men can protect?
Well, now that you
Or, they,
mention it, no,
or do they just talk about the fact that he earns six figures or more?
they just
Do they ever
mentioned
say that he can protect?
no.
I would assume that he can't protect because they want these women. Like, what kind of relationship you want to be in with a man to where you constantly have to compete with younger women? What kind of woman wants that kind of relationship?
No
I
other
mean,
woman.
yeah. I mean, you can never trust your man to be faithful to you because he just he's so into just wanting sex from a woman that you have to constantly compete with women half your age because he's floating around. He already dropped the groundwork for a high value man having the option to cheat. He's saying that a high value man, not only should you accept the fact that this high value man has status in the world, but you should also accept that he has an option to cheat on you. So I don't understand what kind of man, well, what kind of woman wants that kind of man? Dane, Abby, can y'all explain that to me? Okay, both of my ladies went
Well,
on mute.
no, no woman wants that kind of man. That's why they gotta convince her that she in a state of competition, and usually insecure women feel that way. They insecure about their man, they insecure about themselves, so they always feel like they in competition with other women. So they feed those women into their insecurities.
Okay, Dane, drop the link.
All right.
Exactly.
So Abby, the Thunder Queen, the Thunder Princess, I mean, do you want to be in a relationship with a man that where you constantly have to compete with younger women?
No, I can be with such a man because this is the case when he's been with other younger women, he's gonna be me like, oh, you have been blaming. She'll be blaming me for everything that maybe he's supposed to do because he's been following men, women all the time, or younger women all the time. That is where if you do a little thing, instead of him to call you and say, "Oh, what you did was this," he's gonna blame you for everything, and he's trying to tell you you are a bad woman, you are this, calling you a whole lot of names. So I don't want to be with such a man like that.
And so when you with a man, a high value man, the way they describe a high value man. It's never a situation to where you can relax as a woman, right? Because you're constantly competing with a woman half your age. And understand that
Exactly.
these guys go after very young women. I mean, they don't give a damn if they have a heart attack with the woman. I mean, these guys are 50 some years old going after these women who are 20, 25 years old. If you look at the women that come on that Kevin Samuels show, a lot of them are in their 20s. These are young women who don't know any better and they feel that they can bully these type of women. You don't really see any seasoned women on this show that could provide some serious pushback. You know, there's always these young women that they're trying to bully. So we put the link in the
Because they,
chat. Okay, we put the
yeah,
link in the
because
chat
they
for
know they
anybody
can.
want to.
Yeah, because they know they can bully the younger women because they know they use their high value men to lie to them that way. Everything you need, I'm gonna provide it for you. Everything you want, don't think about my wife I'm having, but just being thinking of me. And there is a case when they get them pregnancy, they leave there for them to go. Don't tell anybody that I'm the one who pregnant you because they know they have a huge money that they are making and they can find you someone who will be threatening you. Okay, if you tell somebody I'm with you, this is the case. I'll make the calls do you this. I'll make people do you this. So every time these younger girls are even scared to tell themselves that we are not going to be with you.
Well, my whole thing is that I don't understand the whole thing about being high value because according to them, if a man is high value, they're saying that this man has the option to do whatever he wants with a woman. And there's really nothing she can do because he's the big time bread earner and she should fall into place. She should fall in line. So if she gets to the point where he feels that her looks are no longer adequate, he has the option to go out and start messing with other women. And there's nothing that she can say if she wants to stay hitched to the wagon because he's making six figures or better, or he's earning as much as four or five men. So because he has this powerful earning potential, well, not earning potential, because he's has this powerful earning ability, you should accept whatever he dishes out. That doesn't even sound like a relationship to me. That sounds like abuse. I mean, does that sound like a relationship to anybody? I could be wrong, you know, but that doesn't sound like a relationship to me. That sounds more like abuse. If you're telling a woman that she is going to have to deal with whatever you dish out, regardless of the situation, to me, that's abuse. And you're saying that she can't really do anything about it. She can't protest against it. So you get to go out and mess around with other younger women because you feel that your woman is no longer young. So you want to go out and mess around with a young girl. And so she shouldn't say anything because you're high value. That don't sound like a relationship to me. That sounds like an abuse thing.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And and that explains the crybaby ones that's saying, I'm making all this money, I'm taking care of her bill, but she left me for uh a Pookie, Ray Ray. She left me for some dude that was in prison. It could be because you was more abusive than the so-called guy who been in prison. A lot of guys that been in prison ain't serial prisoners, and they show that they can protect their women. They show that they appreciate the love that's given them. They will hustle and try. They just, they just need a little help because the guys coming out of prison have a hard time getting things in order once they get out. Nothing out there encourage is there to help them, assist them. So if they find a woman that's down with them and who's understand and willing to help them get on their feet, not take care of them, just support them until they get things in order. And there
Well,
are women that can see that if they find the good ones like that. Hey, don't go all the time for prison, guys. But there are some, that are they made a mistake and they learn from it.
well, you know what? I would say this, right? If a black woman can avoid a dude that went to prison,
Mm-hmm.
avoid him
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want, you know, to invite strife into your life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there's no men available, you're looking for men, and maybe some brothers came out of jail and they're trying to turn their lives around. You should seriously vet those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Going to jail is not a normal mentality.
No.
That's not a normal mindset. There's something wrong with a person that don't have a problem going to jail. Okay, that's not a healthy way of thinking. So you want to make sure you vet the hell out those guys. Okay, what was he in jail for? And you definitely want to pay attention to violence.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key thing you want to pay attention to. What is he in jail for? If he's in jail for some kind of violence, I suggest you keep it moving.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm telling you, it's not normal for guys not giving a damn about going to jail. That's not a normal thought pattern. There's something wrong with a man who has no problem with going to jail. You understand what I'm saying? That's not normal. There's usually something wrong with somebody like that. So you definitely want to. I'll put it like this here: avoid prison dudes. Okay, avoid them. I'm not saying that there's not one or two or three that may have, had a nonviolent crime and been in a bad place at the wrong time or something. There are those guys out there, but they're few and far in between. Most dudes who are in jail are in there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, there's been some dudes who've been wrongly accused. But like I said, that's few and far in between. Most dudes who are in jail are in there because they're supposed to be in there. Okay? So prison dudes, no, I wouldn't recommend black women going for. If you can't find a decent man in your area, don't settle for no prison dude. You may have to go outside your area to find a guy. You may have to travel, or he may have to travel. If a man loves you, he'll travel. If he has the means to travel, he'll travel. That's not a problem for us. We'll go where the women are. We'll go where, if we love a woman, oh, trust me, we'll get there. So travel is something you shouldn't have to really worry about unless you meet a man that's 5 states away or 4 or 3 states away. Then y'all may have to arrange meetings here and there. But usually travel is not a problem. Okay, so if you meet a guy, in another city or 2 cities away or whatever, you ain't got no problem traveling over there, driving over there. But I recommend that you stay away from the prison dudes because there's usually a reason why they're locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I would not recommend black women go and date dudes out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get caught up in that prison culture either. I've heard women talk about they do bids with men. Remember a while back,
yeah, we did that. Mm-hmm.
We did a show. Yeah, that's not healthy either, ladies. You don't want to do a bid with no man. That's not your problem.
Mm-hmm.
Some women think that they're obligated to do a bit with their men. No, you're not obligated. If he's gonna take his punk ass out there and bring it on himself to get locked up, then you ain't got nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's on him. And he does his bid by his damn self. If he loved you, he wouldn't be in jail. Like I said, if you love your women and your children, you wouldn't be going out here putting yourself in a situation that you know if you get caught, you're going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So I recommend black women stay away from the prison dudes.
Yeah. I was just saying that if they, because they use that crying that she left a good dude that was working, working, paying the bills and stuff like that. He make money for some dude that's in prison. I said then there's something seriously wrong about this supposedly good dude.
Well,
If she leaves a good man, who's paying the bills, taking care of everything for some dude that's not better.
they always leave stuff out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, well, she left the dude that was working and paying the bills, but they kind of left out the fact that he smacked her around, drop kicked her a few times, threatened to kill her mama, tell her she told her that he'd kill the children if he leave her, all this other stuff. See, they always leave out stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to make it seem like women are so unreasonable. Man, she had a man who was working and paying the bills. That was a good man. Why did she let him go? And we're for some dude in prison. Well, the prison dude probably don't have that much income, but he protects her. He doesn't beat on her. He's not abusing her. He's not telling her that if she leaves him, he's going to kill her and the kids. He's not doing all of that. And so she feels safer with him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the guy that she let go, they always seem to leave out details. Like he
Yeah.
kept a dead cat in the freezer, or, he threatened to kill someone, or he beats the hell out of her, or so he puts his hands on her mother and stuff like that. They're always leaving shit out.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to make it seem like the woman is unreasonable. And
Mm-hmm.
like she doesn't make any damn sense. Like, well, what are you doing getting rid of a man who's working and paying the bills? Well, he working and paying the bills, but beating the hell out of her too. I mean, is that a fair trade-off, ladies? You got a man who's working and paying the bills, who's beating the hell out of you, beating on your mama, threatening to kill you and the kids. Is that a fair trade-off? No.
Mm-hmm.
I heard
No.
that punk talking about men don't care about fair. Oh, it's the Bamules. You don't speak for all men. You might not give a damn about fair, but there are plenty of men out here who do give a damn about fair. What do you mean men don't care about fair? You don't speak for all of us. These guys kill me with this shit, man. They come up with these terms that they live by, and they expect all of us to live by those same terms. But men don't care about fair. Fuck you mean? If we didn't care about fair, there would be no laws. You're talking about, well, we conquered everybody. Well, we got laws against that shit now. Can't just go conquer a fucking country now because they're smaller than you or they have less firepower than you. That's deemed unfair. That's why they got laws now, because things aren't fair. And if man truly didn't give a damn about fair, then we would live in a lawless country, right? We wouldn't have laws. Because when you go and you just attack someone for no fucking reason, that's wrong.
So these guys that keep screaming about uh it's not fair for black men to be blamed for everything that's wrong with the community. White women contribute. I mean, sorry, black women is a part of this too.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Go ahead, Abby. Abby wants to say something. Go ahead, Abby.
No, I was like, she said. I was like, yes, it's true.
yeah.
Like
So
I said, if men didn't care about fair, we wouldn't have any laws.
mhm. But that's not what they're saying. They're saying it's not fair to blame black men for what's going on in the black community. That women is responsible for half of it.
And what is they responsible for? See, we keep going back to the same question, right? And every time they say, "Well, she's choosing bad men," well, you go right back to black men. You're choosing bad men
Okay, the
because you
other.
won't raise it. You're choosing bad men because you won't raise any good ones.
Yeah. Or she's choosing men who making her a baby mama or have multiple baby mamas. Yes, she lays down with him too.
Like I said, she's choosing bad men because he won't raise any good ones.
Hmm. All right.
So they keep talking about, well, the black woman has to be accountable. Accountable for what?
Yeah. It used to be there was more good men. The good men outnumbered the bad, so she had multiple choices to choose from.
Hmm.
Mhm. Now, now the good men are the rare commodity, and she gotta shift through all the bad ones to find the good one. And in the beginning, she might think, "Oh, I got me a good one," and then over time, "Oh crap, I got a bad one." And so she wastes time and energy and herself and her body and created a child with this person she initially thought was a good man. So she has to reevaluate where what went wrong, where she went wrong. How did she miss some flags? What did she miss?
Hmm.
Hmm. And then she tried to reevaluate the meaning of a good man for her. Okay, from this dude, um, he was this, and this. I don't want this, and this anymore. So I'm gonna make sure to have a dude that's like this, and this. And she goes looking for it and thinking, I got a good one. He's not like the other one was, and stuff like that. And she gets hopeful. She gets involved. She gets emotionally invested, physically invested, and eventually, who knows? I don't know, may or may not have created a child with him. Then find out, oh crap, another bad one. And she goes through that process again until finally she just kind of gives up and think, oh, there's no good ones. I'm not trying anymore. Uh, it don't seem to be it seem to be doing good. I need to, work on myself for a bit, you know, you know, renew myself. And unfortunately, for some of them, it could be a long time. It could have started out, okay, I'm gonna need a year, and then 2 years, and then you up to 7 years, and still in no hurry to find a man, a love. Look, I'm just gonna. If you got kids, I'm just gonna take care of my kids. If you if you got a career, I'm just gonna do my career because those things, I can work with. Those are my children need me. I'm gonna put all the energy into taking care of the children until they get to the point where they won't need me as much. Hmm. All right. So, Avana, have you seen that where women have been looking for a good one and they keep coming across bad ones until they finally just give up?
Yeah, it's true. They will look for the good man, and the bad one will start becoming. Then as they were just going to give up without even looking for anyone at all, and they'll focus on their life and take care of their own children that they have given birth with without any man. They don't even want to be with any man at all. They just want to be with their children alone, take care of them, help their children. They ignore man in their life or in their mind. They don't want any man at all. I've seen some before. When you
And
ask them, "Oh, are you not gonna marry any man?" You say, "No, I'm okay. I don't need any man in my life. I don't want to be with any man again because the bad ones or the man that they have been coming, all of them are not good. Even she was looking for the good ones that she never met them yet."
yeah, yeah, and so if I was a man, I'd be mad. You turn off this woman who possibly could have been a woman for me, and then when I come along, either she's totally ignoring me, or I have to work even harder to convince her I am the one. But then these guys add a whole new texture because women are starting to, nah, it's a waste of my energy, time, and stuff like that, and I'm not doing it. So now they add another piece to the thing. You should have chose better, and stuff like that. They try to make it her fault, all her fault. You should have chose better. That subject instead of I've seen situations where two people meet. They think they the one. They dated for a while. They had sex. I even seen them create a child, but they realized they didn't work, and they broke it off with a friendship, and they take care of their child, and they move on. There's no hard feelings, no abuse, no feel like you're being used, and the woman is able to move on. Okay, he was not the one. Okay, yes, I let sex cloud my judgment. Yes, we created a child, but he was still a good man. He just was not the man for me. And she still has a good enough experience where she'll keep trying. But when you get
Yeah.
the woman who's been lied to, abused, not necessarily physically abused, but emotionally abused, you know, or are made to feel that you're in the wrong because you feel a certain way, you know. And so it takes all kind of energy out of her, and it takes a lot to rebuild back up to go and try to look again. But there's so few of us who end up on good terms with their ex because y'all realize, okay, y'all jumped a few steps, and and y'all realize a while afterwards, no, y'all not meant to be. Y'all not for each other. Y'all good friends. You don't have no hate for each other. You're not mad at each other.
Mhm.
Y'all just weren't the one. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know, he was honest with her, so she was honest with him, and stuff like that. He never made promises he couldn't keep. He does love her. He just don't love her that way. He realized I love you, but my love for you is a friendship. I don't think I could be married to you or spend the rest of my life with you. I don't have
That is not
anything.
that is not a,
Hmm.
that's not a love for marriage, but it's a love for friendship.
Hmm. You
Yeah.
know, love you enough to be married to you for the rest of their life. You know, or or in some cases didn't even promise that. You know, it's like it was a friends. I know one case was a friends with benefit case. They just happened to create a child, but they still remain friends. They were still able to raise their child together, just separate houses. He's on good terms with her. She's on good terms with him. His child doesn't feel neglected because he's not actually living there. He raised her. He dictates to her. If she's misbehaving, he could call and also be there to yank her up and pull her up. He's not a father in name only. He
Yeah.
that child knows him, knows his family. You know, and in the same way. But that's rare. There's not that many of them. Or they got married, because they love and friendship. They got married, but the marriage didn't work, and they were mad at each other, and then they get a divorce, and then they back to being friends again. I've seen that also. When you marry, even though you're starting to realize the love you have is more of a friendship and not ones that's meant for marriage, you know and I've seen them. They shoots in my own family. 20 years married, back and forth. Arguments, fight. Infidelity. They get divorced, and after a year or two, they better divorce and in a friendship than they were in their 20 years of marriage. I was like, why did y'all get married? I said, well, we kind of fell into it. And when you get in a relationship, you're supposed to be married. He realized kind of a long while back that he loves her, but he didn't really want to be married with her. But because he married her, he stayed with it until he did some things that showed that he wasn't as committed as he was, infidelity, adultery.
It's very funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and there was
Yeah.
anger. There was anger. Yeah, she was angry. She was angry. It took a while, but after a while, she realized, you know what? I'm glad we got a divorce. You know, I don't like the way he done it, but I should, he probably was. I was ignoring signs that he wasn't feeling that way anymore. But she no, she still says it's his fault. But he got sick. She took care of him like a wife would take care of her husband if he's sick. It's like, what? But people are like, y'all divorced. Why are you taking care of? Said I was still his wife. I still love him. We can't. We not. We can't. We're not good as a married couple, but we still have love. I love him. He's my best friend. He's my friend, and stuff like that. I had that in the beginning because that's what I want. I want a man who's my friend, who likes me as well as love me. And said that those feelings didn't go away. And when he was sick and he needed help, I went to help him. My love for him, the good things that they had, she took care of him. In fact, he was such a good man, except for that infidelity incidents, those infidelity incidents. He was such a good man that not only did she take care of him, her sisters, her younger sisters, because she was like the older sister, and when their parents died, they as the older sister, they helped
Man,
kind of raise their thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay.
what's
Yeah.
going on,
Yeah,
Sam?
that's fine.
Yeah, Abby.
Yeah. You see, because of those things which is going on now. That's why it looks like most of the women don't want to be with any man at all, and they want to focus on their life without getting to marriage situation and here and there. They want to be alone because assuming you marry a man and the man don't doesn't take care of you, doesn't take care of his children, and they leave everything for you to take care of. Then what's the sense of marrying such a man? It's better you be alone without having any man than you getting married and you'll be suffering. They will leave you and leave these children for you to take care of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, women are getting burnt out. They're getting tired of it. And that's why the manosphere rhetoric is bothering some women. They're already, trying to find energy to, they know they want love, and they go and find it again, and then they hear this, and it just, what's the point? It's the bother. They are like this, you
Yeah,
know.
because anything it looks like now anything that black women will do is not making black men nicely. They doesn't even like whatever as a black women we do. Black men have been selling out all black women that when we even are doing the good thing or the better thing for them to announce it, they don't even want to say it. And they are trying to sell out for what? Always you be sell out since we were in slavery. Now you still selling out. So when are you going to change your mind as a black people, as a black man? When are we going to change our mind? Because in the
Sounds like looks like
olden
it's going to be never for
days,
some dudes.
because in the old days
Uh
you will
oh.
not be finding those things that is going on now.
Yeah, I think what it is, these men are throwing black women on the bus.
They have been trained from home. They have, yeah, because if you see a man who have been giving birth from 50s, 50s, and then 40s, I tell you, they have this kind of good mentality and they understand black women very well. But we that we are coming at 20s and 19s children, we don't even know anything about women and we don't want to learn from these old men what they are putting there. We don't want to learn. We want to always being sissy van and this kind of I don't know evil things all the time to condemn our women. Yeah,
Yeah,
because if we don't put a stop to it, it's a time is gonna come. I tell you, I don't think we're gonna have any black community women will be there. You'll be finding the black community women will be separate, and then the men also will be separate without being together.
that's not good, because it's gonna be a matter of a
Yeah,
time before there ain't gonna be no black community or black people at all.
yeah, because of what we are doing now, we need to put a stop to it, and we need to focus. We are blacks. We are not other people than blacks. You cannot change yourself to tell me that okay, I'm a black person, then I'm an Asian. You can. Or I'm a black person, but I am a white person. You can. You are black, and you still be black till you die from this earth. So we need to better make our mind that hey, we are going forward with our children, with our women, with our wives. We need to train
Well,
them. Mm-hmm.
it's like I said earlier, these guys need to go on with these other neighborhoods because they will weaken those communities. I think if they leave our community, we will in fact get stronger because we don't have a contingent of weak men in our communities. So let these sissy Bems and manospheres go to the communities that they say that they want to go to because they will weaken those communities. So you want to go to white communities, go right on because you're going to weaken that community because that's what you're doing here. You're weakening this community. So that behavior, if you take that derelict behavior to other races in their communities, you will weaken their community as well. So by all means, go right on ahead. You're actually doing us a favor and you're helping us out by weakening other communities and allowing us to grow strong in your absence. And once you leave and go to these other communities, don't come back because we don't need your dereliction or weakness making it worse for us. You go to them other communities and make it worse for them because that's what they're going to end up doing anyway. They're going to weaken those communities. And once the men in those communities realize that these guys are coming in and they are being like an anchor and weighing those communities down, they're going to retaliate.
Yeah.
They're going to retaliate.
I think that's part of part of the problem is they don't just stay in those communities. They come back. They come back to show off. Look, I got my non-black woman here, and you women should have been acting like this or doing like that. Are y'all responsible for this and that? And that's why I went this way. And they keep coming back. You went to these communities because they better. You went to those communities because those so-called women are better. Why are you coming back?
I believe they're lying because, like I said, other races of women are used to being taken care of by their men. They're used to the men being leaders and they're used to the men doing everything. So these guys can't handle up like that. So I believe that they're lying. hmm
What about those ones that said, I became a man when I went with my non-black woman in the other community. Black women weren't allowing me or letting me be a man.
Mm.
What y'all say to that?
Nothing.
So,
Yeah.
so, in other words, let them keep sprouting that nonsense out
hmm
and
hmm
completely ignore
hmm
them.
If that's the case, then what are you telling us for?
That's true. That's true.
Why would I go somewhere? Why would I go somewhere and tell you, hey, when I was over here, I couldn't be a man. I went over here and the women let me be men. Well, it's still something that women are letting you do. It's still something that you didn't do on your own.
Ah, I missed that.
hmm
Thank you, Max, because I sure did miss that.
Yeah. If the black women over here ain't letting you be men, you went somewhere where the women let you be a man. So you still have to behest the women, right? You're still doing what women let you do.
Yeah, because we always did say, um, you just be a man. You don't matter what we do or do not let you do. You're a man, you just do it.
Um, these guys don't have no real foreign women anyway. What they have are the women in these foreign societies. They have the very bottom of these women. They have the prostitutes. So they've gone somewhere to a foreign country and got a prostitute, and they made that prostitute a wife. or they've got these pen pal Filipino women. You know,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah,
Yep.
Filipino women are the most just loyal women to their race in the whole world. They date outside their race more than anybody.
Okay.
Hmm.
I thought it was Asians as a whole, but you saying out of
Hmm.
the group, Filipinos are.
That's why I said you can't go by statistics. It's faulty data. It's not just Asians as a whole because Japanese women are very traditional and don't hardly ever date outside their race. Now there are some of them that deal with the men that are in their country, the foreign men in their country, but majority of the natural and traditional Japanese women they stay with Japanese men.
Mm-hmm.
Chinese women, right, most likely marry Chinese men unless they're in Hong Kong, unless they're exposed to a foreign element. You know,
Uh-huh.
so Filipino women though they they have no shame in their game. I mean, they got commercials, infomercials, to where they have hookups. I seen a commercial the other day of Filipino Christian women, right, making
Uh-huh.
themselves available to whatever kind of man.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Hmm. Let me explain something to you. It's also a sexual attraction in the tradition of these men. A lot of these women come out of traditions to where they cook, they sew, they clean, because they
Mm-hmm.
come from impoverished backgrounds. A lot of Filipino women live in hard poverty.
Mm-hmm.
So they're about living in a, so to them, if they lived over here in the States in an apartment with the man, that's heaven to them.
Uh-huh.
You know, I mean, I heard one of these fools talking about he bought a woman a stove. Think about that. 9 times out of 10, who buys a woman a stove?
The
You
husband?
meet a girl, yeah, you meet a girl, you be like, okay, let me go buy her a stove.
He's a John.
Where they do that at?
Apparently, wherever country he went to.
I've never bought a
I
woman a
remember that.
stove.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, he did it on the first date. He wasn't dating her over a period of time. It was the first date. And he
And
brought her a stove.
depending on what country he was in, the stove probably cost $20. So it's not like he spent a whole lot of money. Like, okay, so you get to these places where these women are living in hard times. They are impoverished, and you go buy them things like that. Yeah, they're gonna think the world of you. They're gonna think that you're a godsend. I mean, you bought this woman a stove. She probably was cooking in buckets before you came. Bought her a stove.
So when he was bragging that he changed that woman's life and she was very appreciative,
And change nobody's fucking life. I mean, these guys kill me, man. They improve. And these are the kinds of derelict niggas that you listen to and you give the time of day to. Like nobody does it. Who the hell buys a woman? Hey man, what's up with that chick you was with? Hey man, I just bought her a stove. I've never heard that before. I don't know anybody that's ever done that. You know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy the woman stuff or if you love the woman, of course you want to make her life easier. But I guess I don't think this was a situation the way he loved the women. And you got to understand something too. A lot of these Filipino women, they're not really into love. They're into finances. They don't want to be poor. So a lot of them are going to be good to you just out of sheer poverty, just out of not wanting to be poor.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was watching this movie what's his name? Tommy Lee Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He was a guy. He was in the military and he met one of them foreign women. I believe he was in Saigon or somewhere. I can't remember. But
Yeah.
he met this woman
Mm-hmm.
and she thought everything was good because he was in the military.
Uh-huh.
And then he got kicked out of the military. When they got back here to the States, they found out that he was a bum. And when he brought her home to meet the family had a family of white women who were bugged out. They didn't accept her, right?
All
And
right.
then he was messed up. Um, he turned out to harass her. She had to take the children away from her. She had to find her way in America. She had to learn how to survive in America.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was something wrong with him. He ended up getting kicked out of the military. So a lot of times these guys go over there in the military and they get these prostitutes, and the prostitute does whatever they want, and they fall in love with the prostitute, and they bring her back home, and she gets Americanized, and she either leaves or finds out that he's a bum and then leave. And you look at it, right? Look at the way these guys are. Listen to them, right? Listen to the mental problems that they have. There's no black woman that's going to put up with these guys. That's why many of them stay their ass in other countries because they can't cut it over here. They got too many mental issues that a black woman ain't going to deal with. They got anger problems. They got all kinds of issues wrong with them, and so most black women won't deal with that. So they take that shit to other countries, and these foreign women who are more desperate because they're in bad situations, right? They're willing to put up with more. Some of those women will flat out deal with physical abuse because they're more afraid of poverty than getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll stay with an abusive American man just so he can get her out of poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's where all this rhetoric of black women being desperate. You remember how many times they were saying now that black women welfare and food stamp gonna be come out, they're gonna come crawling back to us. You know how many times we had heard it at different crises in the country.
Man, that's stupid. I'm not even gonna dignify that. All right, ladies, let's wrap it up. It's 1 o'clock here. We got ladies' night to do tonight, so let's go on and shut it down and at least get a nap or two before we come back later on tonight.
All right.
All right. Anybody got anything else to say before we get out of here?
Yeah. Peace, power, and unity.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in to Gangsta Talk. We're gonna shut it down. We'll see y'all later on tonight for Ladies' Night, where we're gonna be talking about the black men practicing hypergamy. I'm sorry, hyperbole. And what else we talking about on Ladies' Night tonight?
We're
Dang.
talking about Candace Owens.
Oh yeah, gonna be talking about Candace Owens. And we might end up playing a little game. We're not gonna promise you, but we might unveil our new game tonight. We don't know. We'll see how it goes. If not, we'll unveil it next ladies' night. But we ain't gonna tell you what the name of the game is yet. Okay, but we're working on this new game. All right, everybody, peace, power, unity. Then get the music, get us on up out of here.